cuffing season, which is the time of year between October and Valentine's Day where people who don't want to be alone just get together with whoever they can. And, as the great philosophers once said, modern philosophers, love the one you're with. And that's what these backfields feel like. They feel like it's a love the one you're with kind of situation.
Number 1 pick.
Running back Trey Sermon. He was fantastic last week. 10 carries for 38 yards, so not great on the ground, but decent, led the team in carries. He also had 6 catches for 25 yards, and he brought in a touchdown for 18.3 fantasy points. He's playing the 11th ranked against the run. Tennessee Titans, so not an ideal matchup, but if he's getting those type of opportunities, he would be a must-add. Jonathan Taylor was out last week with a high ankle sprain. Obviously, these normally take multiple weeks to resolve. He's someone I am looking to add. Another running back, Tank Bigsby. I was on him early in the season. He's available in 91% of leagues, and he has been the better Jacksonville running back the last couple weeks. I was great in week 1, 12 carries, 73 yards. Had poor 2 weeks, and that's kind of where he dropped off on the waiver wire front. And then last week, 7 carries for 90 yards, and then 13 carries for 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, adding 1 catch for 28 yards for 25.9 fantasy points. It's a nice matchup against the Bears, who are 23rd against running backs. He's someone who has, I think, more season-long value than Trey Sermon, but if you need a win, I'd probably go Sermon. He would have more upside being, but overall, season long, give me Tank Bigsby. I want to add Ty Chandler, only 34.9% rostered on ESPN leagues. After Aaron Jones went down, 14 carries for 30 yards and 2 catches for 9 yards, only 5.9 fantasy points. He's on bye this week, but that was a positive game script. If they're trailing, he would be the main pass catching back as well. I think Chandler is someone who has potential to really give you value down the season, especially because Aaron Jones typically misses weeks with injury or has the last several years. Running back number 4, Tyrone Tracy Jr., only owned in 18% of fantasy leagues. He led the Giants with 19 touches. He had 18 carries and 1 catch. He had 129 yards, 7.2 yards a carry. That's what I'm talking about from the rookie.
Yeah!
Singletary's been fine, but as the season goes on and they want to win games and develop their roster, develop their team, Tyrone Tracy is a guy that I'm looking at to have some really nice season-long value. Maybe win that backfield over in the long term. Running back number 5. It's Rashawn Johnson, only owned at 11% of fantasy leagues. He is the touchdown back for the Bears. Last 2 weeks, he's had 3 touchdowns. He's been averaging a little over 8 carries per game. Against Indianapolis, he had 4 catches, which is a little bit different. But they have a really nice matchup against Jacksonville, who ranks 29th against running backs. It's a very plus matchup. Then there's the bye. Swift has been very average up until the last couple weeks with positive game scripts and matchups. The offense is starting to roll. Rashawn Johnson is the goal line back. He's a touchdown back. And if anything happens to Swift, you're looking at an RB2 for the rest of the year. So that's my 5 running backs.